Welcome back to New World Tank Mastery Weekly Mutation Breakdown. This is episode 2, October 14th. We are one full day into season 10. And I'm Ty James, your mother's favorite online video game tank. So, being as it may, we are our first full day into season 10. I want you guys to do me a favor. Put in the comments below, what do you like, what do you dislike so far about season 10? And maybe we can all discuss it as a community. I'm going to put together a video soon about how you can do the upgrading gear like umbral shards, charms, all that good stuff. But for today's episode, we're going to talk about the different mutations and what dungeons are part of the mutated list and kind of what drops from them and what you can expect and how you should kind of handle and deal with the mutation. You guys are ready? Let's hop on in. So I'm actually chilling in the new zone, Night Haven, on one of my alt characters here. And my alt is 68. I do have one level 70 already, but my alt is chilling at 68. I have like, I think a few quests left of the main storyline, so I should be hitting 70 soon on this guy. All right, let's get into what we're here for. Let's go to activities. We have Catacombs has been unlocked. So I'm going to start making some videos on explanation of Catacombs soon, so that'll be good. But we're going to go to Mutated Expedition. The 3 expeditions that are mutated this week is Starstone Burrows, Tempest Heart, and Empyrean Forge. And if you've been following our Tank Mastery playlist, you know that I have a video for each of these on how to do the pulls, how to do the boss mechanics, and all those different things. So let's go into here and look at the mutations. So for M1, the first mutation or the primary mutation is overgrown, which means everything's going to be nature damage. All right. And I'm going to show you guys how to deal with nature damage. So compost, enemies leave a zone upon death, healing enemies that stand in it for 3% health per second. So as you kill enemies, when they die, they will do a heal buff for the other enemies in the area. Okay. Toxic, enemies periodically spawn a poison entity that deals 20% base nature damage over time and locks onto a far target. Upon reaching the target player, cast an area root. So toxic, as this entity spawns, they're going to go after whoever's your furthest player away from whatever monster you are attacking or mob you are attacking. It's going to do a dot, and it's going to do a root. Okay? And then Arboreal, Arbor. Enemies deal 50% of all damage as nature damage. And then Bramble, enemies deal 20% nature damage upon being hit. Now, what are the perks that drop or have a chance of dropping inside these mutations? One is Arboreal Attunement, which attacks deal 10% weapon damage as nature. So it basically converts your damage, some of your damage into nature damage. And then conditioning, 3% nature damage absorption for 5 seconds after taking nature damage. So you can expect if you do a nature build, it'd be good to try to farm as much gear as you can to get those either attunements or the conditioning. Okay? So that's for M1. M2 has a higher scaling version of each of those. So it still has Bramble, it still has Arboreal, it still has Toxic, and still has Compost. But additionally, enemies have the following buffs. Oppressive. Mage Hunter. Enemies drain 10 to 20 mana upon being hit. So as you're attacking, you're draining mana of yourself. And then Suppressor. Enemies cast a silent zone on attacking players. Okay, so if your primary DPS is going to be a mage, they're going to have a hard time. So it would be better to use some sort of archetype that's mainly not a mana caster and mainly an auto attack fiend, right? Because as you're attacking, you're going to get a silent zone, so you're going to have to move around that so you can keep attacking, do your abilities. So it'd be good to have a lot of melee that mainly have light and heavy attack rotations, okay? So that's oppressive. Now look at the M3. They get... same thing. They get the overgrown, so they're going to have Bramble, Arboreal, Toxic, Compost. They're also going to have Mage Hunter, Suppressor, and then additionally, you're going to have the following debuff on you. Unstable. So upon dodging, players are inflicted by nature damage over time, dealing 1.5% of their max HP every second for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So up to 4.5 percent of your max HP for 10 seconds. Now, keep in mind, this effect cannot be cleansed, right? So your healer cannot cleanse this off of you through their heal abilities, okay? Overcharged. If unstable expires with 3 stacks active, it drops a 3-meter radius zone that lasts for 15 seconds. While inside, players take 10% of their max HP worth of damage every second. Entering the effect consumes all stack of unstable, dealing 30% of max HP damage. This effect cannot be cleansed by player abilities. So basically, you're going to have 4.5% of your max health draining every second for 10 seconds at full stacks. If it expires, right, with full stacks, it's going to drop a 3-meter radius zone, kind of like a bomb on the ground, that's going to last there for 15 seconds. While you're inside of it, you're going to take an additional 10% of your max HP every second. So you're really at 14.5% max HP every second if you're just chilling in it, right? So basically move off the X, get out of that 3-meter zone. But if you enter the effect, all your stacks of unstable will be consumed, dealing another 30% damage. So the best way to deal with this is stay the hell out of this zone. But 2, as a tank, how you'd want to deal with this is it's upon dodging. So utilizing your block over dodge will help prevent you from even getting this nature damage stack. Also would help your team by you not dodging and you using block. Not only you're not going to have your max HP drainage, but it's not going to expire or cause the overcharge to be on the ground, affecting any melee DPS that enter it. So how you're going to deal with this one is utilizing your block over utilizing dodges. So when possible, block, don't dodge. And that should help keep you from getting these debuffs on you, okay? So that's what the mutations are. So what drops from each of these? We have Starstone Burrows, we have Tempest Heart, and we have Empyrean Forge. So let's go into our inventory here. I think I put it in my storage. I grabbed the different things. So for Starstone Burrows, what drops is Blood Drinker, which is an artifact ring. It's a leeching ring. They actually changed it for this season. Supposedly making it a little bit more viable. I actually like Blood Drinker. I run Blood Drinker in a lot of my my builds. But now that we can upgrade it, we have an extra offensive slot that we can throw in there. We can kind of even customize it more to our specific build. So that empty offense slot is a charm slot, just so you guys know. So it is a charm slot. All right, so that's what's going to drop from Starstone. From Empyrean Forge, drops Inferno from Commander Marius, right? And it's a fire staff that basically scales off of strength and intelligence. It used to just scale off of strength if strength was higher. But now, because they've changed it to where each item or each weapon has now dual scaling, so they changed the way it says it's dual scaling with both, okay? And then Dorgort's Blade. So lava tip, heavy melee attacks on both weapons cause 10% burning. Hitting with the melee ability will consume the burn inflicted targets, dealing 8% of the remaining damage. I predict, because the catacombs and a lot of the spider and spider webs are susceptible to fire damage. Okay, so the new zone, Night Haven, supposedly in the patch notes, basically they're very susceptible to fire damage. So I predict a lot of people are going to be running an int/dex Dorgort's artifact mixed with some sort of fire staff or something like that, so that they get extra fire damage, or Dorgort's with another weapon, a primary weapon, and this being an offhand, so that their primary weapon does fire damage, just so they can deal with the mechanics of the new zone. So don't be surprised. I'm actually going to do all the quests on Dorgort's. I'm going to get mine unlocked, and I'm going to kind of test out a little fun little build using that burn damage and see how it works in the new zone. And when I do, I will go ahead and throw that video up here for you guys. Okay. I'm not saying as a tank, but maybe in catacombs being like a bruiser-ish DPS with self-sustain so that you can stay alive and extract and get all the rewards. Yeah, we're going to have some fun this season making some builds. Okay, so that's Empyrean Forge, and this drops off of Ifrit. Okay, next up is Tempest Heart. The artifact that drops from Tempest Heart is the Magnetic Gauntlets. It's just a crit gauntlet. It's just extra crit chance, but you reduce your crit damage. I haven't found a great build so far that uses it, but I'm pretty sure this season a crit is going to be something nasty with a lot of lifesteal. Okay, so we'll see. Right now, because of it takes obviously an artifact slot, there's better options like, you know, the crown, or you have like attuned leather pants, or you have like tumbler foot wraps, you have lightweight, you have all different types of things, or featherweight. You have all different types of armor pieces that generally have been best in slot. So we'll see how season 10 shakes up if magnetic gauntlets ends up being a thing. So we'll see. Okay. Now, how do we deal with nature damage? We would use any kind of a nature resistance amulet as a tank. So like, for example, this one right here, nature ward and nature protection, right? They did nerf. They did a little sneaky thing. They did nerf protection perks on amulets. It used to be 15%. It's down to 7.5%. And supposedly, and we will check it right meow. Let's go ahead and look at our shield. Supposedly on the shield, they did the same, and they did. So they nerfed your overall resistance, because as a tank, it was super easy. You would load, if you were doing nature, you would load up on all your nature gems. You throw on a nature shield, you throw on your nature amulet, and you had like 77% reduction to nature. So they nerfed it by about half on those two items, on your shield and your amulet. So keep that in mind. You're going to have about 15% less, which means you can still get to about 60%, because they also nerfed the gems. The gems used to be 6% each. Now they're 4% each. So because they're 4%, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have 32% there, plus your 7.5 and 7.5. So actually you are maxing out around 47% just in gear for resistance. So keep that in mind as you're tanking these things, that you've lost close to about 20 to 30% of your base nature resistance through gear. Okay, so managing your cooldowns and managing your blocks and things like that are going to be especially important, in the fact that your resistance levels have been nerfed this season, this patch. Like, they nerfed us like hardcore. So I'll show you guys how to deal with that in a future video. Okay, so that's what we got on the menu for this week as far as the mutations go, what kind of drops from it, and you know, how you leverage your nature protection. And like I said, with the season 10 changes in gearing, like almost all of our stuff's been kind of changed up and moved around and all this good stuff. So you have now a whole different setup for your here. Instead of having grit, because they changed the way grit is done in Constitution, you have a lot of different bubbles in here to kind of play with when you're setting up your build for your con and things like that. Okay, as a tank, like I said, they kind of nerfed us tanks, and not in a way of like PvP or anything. They nerfed us in PvE for being a good tank. Apparently they want teams to wipe more. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But there you go. That's what we got on the menu this week. Check out a video coming out soon, which is going to be on gearing and how to do all the charms and all that stuff. Like I said, put down in the comments below, you know, what you like, what you don't like so far. If you've ran into any bugs. A lot of people have ran into a bunch of bugs so far. And I'm sure they're working on it. And I trust that they will be working on it. And let me know what kind of cool builds you found in Discord. Go ahead and that's going to be in the description below, the Discord. Join that. We have a lot of cool people from New World and other MMOs in there. If you had any value out of this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and every week I will be posting a video just like this, going over the different mutations and what to expect this week. Okay? All right. I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, make sure you say hi to your mom for me. All right. I'll see you guys next time.